All right, Mark. Well, congrats on another nomination. Every year it seems like we see more. Every year we calculate the fights that you guys do, and every year you're climbing up there. What does it mean to you to really have established yourself as one of the leading referees in the sport? You know, by a panel like the MMA Awards.
You know, it means a lot because for me, I started amateur fights here in Las Vegas back in 2008 timeframe under the Tough Enough banner, working with ISKA, and then getting the chance to work for the commissions around the world. So to have that kind of culmination, to make it all the way to the top, to have the honor to get nominated with great referees like Herb Dean and Mark Goddard and the rest of the crew, that for me it's just a dream come true just to even be here.
Yeah. And what year did you say you started getting involved in like the officiating side?
I started back in late 2007, 2008. I was in the military. I got an assignment back here in Las Vegas, and I started up down at JSEC, Skipper Kelp's gym. Started doing some training down there, and one day a couple fighters asked me to get in the cage with them or get in the ring with them, and here we are some 15, 16 years later.
Yeah, and you've seen it change a ton over that time. Like obviously the UFC was pretty popular in 2007, but nowhere near where it is now globally. So for you, are you even amazed at how far the sport's come and how polished and professional and on ESPN that it is?
I am amazed just to be a part of it. You know, I participate in a lot of sports. I play collegiate sports. My kids play sports, but to be part of this is absolutely amazing. You know, the UFC along with SLAP are becoming the leading sports in the world, if not already there. I'm just humbled to play a little small part of it, and glad to see what happens in 2024 and beyond.
And now that you've established yourself as a known name, people recognize you from all over the world. I guess, how do you continue to get better as a referee, right? Like, I think we see you guys as getting your reps in when you're in there, but is there things you can do when you're not actually in there with fighters that improves you as an official?
We've been lucky here in the state of Nevada, just a number of fights. We're averaging, you know, myself and Chris Taioni, we're averaging 90, almost 100 fights a year, so that keeps us proficient. Another thing that I do is I get permissions from the commissions to go into the local gyms. Also, I'm an airline pilot, so when I travel around the country, around the world, I go into different gyms. Keep it professional, but when they're sparring, I get in there with them, I practice with them. Also do martial arts, I go to some of the gyms and I practice. Big thing for us is just keep it professional, keep it established, just like we would do for a regular fight, but that helps us stay proficient.
And I guess for fans maybe that don't get to hear from you guys a lot, what do you think the biggest misconception about the officiating side of the sport is?
You know, we're all human. 99 times we get it right. That one time we make a mistake. Because of social media a little bit, fans go off on us. But we're just as hard on ourselves. I'm my biggest critic. And if not, I have a circle of friends, other officials. After every single fight, after every single event, we get together, we critique, we talk about it. We send text messages, send fights back and forth. Our goal is to have the perfect officiating fight for the fighters. They deserve that. So when fans think we don't care about it or don't come down hard on ourselves, that's the furthest thing from the truth. We're hard on ourselves and we want to be perfect for every fight.
Is that difficult to deal with sometimes? Like you dedicate 15 years and then sometimes you get like, I don't know, if you get people sliding in your Instagram DMs or whatever, stuff like that, or do you just kind of brush it off?
No, I just kind of brush it off. You know, I had a talk with Joe Rogan a couple years ago and he said keep it simple. He said, you know, some people are going to give constructive criticism, but some people that are going to give silly criticism or idiotic criticism, just got to stay away from that. Know who you can count on. You know, some good friends in the media, some other good officials, coaches, fighters, keep us honest. Just go out there and do a great job every time.
Great, thanks.
I just have one. You mentioned slap, and you're kind of in there, and I've been going to slap. I love it. What do you think is the biggest misconception about slap fighting that the fans have?
You know, probably from a safety perspective. We do a lot of preparation for slap. Very extensive rules. Before every event, I take all the fighters through a really extensive safety and rules meeting. In addition to that, we have the greatest doctors in the world that are, you know, cage side or mat side, however you want to call it. And together we work with that staff. We don't want anyone to take any unnecessary damage. So if someone is not prepared to continue to slap or fight, it's our responsibility to step in. We care about the athletes. We don't want anyone to have any long-term damage or injuries. The sport is going to continue to climb. It just got approved in a couple other states. So we look forward to being a part of that.
Can I ask one more? What do you say to the people though who say the unnecessary damage is the sport itself?
It's safe. So a 3-round fight or maybe a 5-round fight, you know, versus an MMA fight or a boxing match where they're taking a lot more potential damage to the head, etc. we're going to limit that. We're also going to be really close to the fighters to evaluate, you know, potential injuries, and honestly to stop it before it even gets to that point.
Did you have any reservations at first, just with the idea that there was no defense involved, or was there any hesitation on your part?
Not necessarily reservations. We just wanted to make sure we were all prepared, both the commission, all the officials, as well as our doctors, to make sure we were doing this appropriately, as safely as possible for the fighters. And we're there. We still make improvements. There's some neck guards that are potentially coming out, some hand guards, focusing on where they hit. So there are a lot of things we'll do to improve the sport to make it safer.
You see it evolving over time.
It is, absolutely.